They had a meeting from members.
Thank you, Mr. Book. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. My name's Irv Sugarman. I'm the chairman of the Nonpartisan Independent Council Fair Districting Commission for Summit County. And I'd like to call this meeting to order on Tuesday, October 19th, 2021. And I'm going to take the roll call. Mr. Callahan? Present. Ms. Buckholzer? Here. Mr. Smith? Here. Ms. Carter? Here. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the commission meeting on Tuesday, October 5th, 2021?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So this, I believe, is our fifth meeting of the commission. We started this process with an organizational meeting. The second meeting dealt with going over the current map of the districts of Summit County and a presentation regarding the results of the 2020 census. Our next meeting dealt with information that was presented to the commission about the Voting Rights Act and what our duties were related to that. 2 weeks ago at our fourth meeting, we unveiled the draft plan and had some discussion about that. At every one of our meetings, we have invited public comments, and I'm pleased to say that we've had some public comment. The last couple of weeks at the last meeting, the commission decided that it was going to issue a press release and try to secure even more comments. And I'm pleased to report that we have had some additional comments. There was a piece on WKSU. There was a front page article in the Beacon Journal about the work of the commission. And there was an editorial on Sunday also in the Beacon Journal. I know that many of us have received comments, and I think it might be appropriate for me to just go over some of the comments and make them part of the record here this evening before I open it up to those of you in attendance for your comments tonight. Some of these have already been read into the record, but I think that it's probably appropriate that we at least go through them this evening. I'm not going to read all of them into the record, but I may comment on a couple of them. And certainly if anybody has any questions about it after I do so, please feel free to ask whatever questions you have. Initially we had some comments from Thomas, I believe it's Beebe Heitig, who's a councilman at large from the city of Barberton, on September 21st of 2021. We have also received email comments from Pat Herbine, who sent some information on September 27th, 2021, and a Robert Herbine, who made similar comments the same day. We have also had comments both personally a couple of times as well as in writing from Cynthia Blake, who's a resident of Ward 3. And we appreciate her comments and her involvement in this process. We received more recently an email from Christina Haas, who stated in part, it makes very good sense to combine Stowe and Monroe Falls in the same county district as they share a school system and public library. She also goes on to state, because Cazell Smith is a member of the redistricting committee, I'm assured that the plan to give minority voters a more equitable representation in Summit County is fair and well planned. We appreciate her comments. We received quite a bit of information from a gentleman by the name of Jack Brown. Is Mr. Brown here? He sent information, and all of this has been sent, distributed to all the commission members. Mr. Brown sent quite a bit of information regarding his view of the process and made some comments regarding the map and the redistricting plan. And those were received on Friday, October 15th of 2021. Get through to the end here. I believe that two more comments. We received an email earlier today from a woman by the name of Betty Pilius, Pilous, who states, why was Hudson pulled from District 1? Why was Boston in District 1? Why put Boston in District 1? Stupid plan. Thank you for your comment. And, we also received an email yesterday from the League of Women Voters dated October 19th, 2021. Is there a representative from the... Great. And we'll get to you later as far as your comments go. And those were the extent of the written comments that we received through the county executive's website that have been made so far. So with that, I think that what we'd like to do is introduce Todd Book, who has been our consultant and our advisor through this period, and Mark Salling is also here, and we can answer any potential questions that you might have from the audience. But I think that I'll take the audience questions first, and then we'll ask any of the members of the commission if they have any questions. So we had 4 people sign up to speak this evening, and I'd like to call Edna Borders to come up and speak, please.
Good evening, commission members. My name is Edna Borders, and I am an Akron resident and reside in the Council District 5. Thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts about the proposal County Council map. In 2015, Summit County voters approved the changes to the county charter restricted language. We want a favor and more transparent process. Is it okay if I take this off? I can't. I'm fogging up my glasses at the same time.
I'm okay with that.
Thank heavens.
My God, I said I can see.
I think we all share your pain at times.
And we want more representation for the minority resident. There are over 81,000 minority residents in the county, which makes up approximately 15%. Summit County is at large, diverse community, and those who serve the county council should reflect those who they serve. I am pleased to see that this mantra reflected in the map that you have proposed. I am confident this map will increase minority voter power. And I do agree, because I'm out there all the time. I'm at the churches, I'm at the communities, the function. I'm out there in the community all the time trying to get people to vote, and they want to hear your voice. They want us to have our voice. I believe the majority candidate can win in both. You hear me? Can win in both, 4 and 5. You have created a more completed district, which also meet the other requirements laid out in the charter, like keeping us together. I know you may hear from others who would prefer you pack this Afro-American resident of Akron into one single district. They would like to diminish the power of our votes. I urge you to ignore these calls. I believe this map empowers our community. No map will be pleased all residents, but this map meets both the requirements of the county charter and the Federal Voting Rights Act. I support this map. I support your commission members. Thank you for your hard work and your service in Summit County resident. And let me say again, you need our votes, and if we can have it in both 4 and 5, we can show you that we could do it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments, Ms. Borders. Pat Simons?
Hello. I just wanted to comment that we also sent remarks for the October 5th meeting, and that was an outlining of League's criteria for redistricting. So this is our second comment.
Thank you. And just so you know, those have been introduced.
Okay. Thank you. I'm Pat Simons, SIMONS, 8 Oxford Road, Hudson, League of Women Voters, Hudson. I'm joined by my colleague, Roseanne Winter, WINTER, 792 Laurel Lane, Talmadge. She is president of the League of Women Voters Akron area. We bring greetings from League of Women Voters. In our October 5th public comments, we described our interest in the Commission's redistricting process, citing our redistricting expertise, and we conveyed our criteria for fair and legal redistricting as an independent assessment. From our observation, the Commission is providing exemplary service to the citizens of Summit County in the decennial redistricting process that produces a fair and legal representational map. Your adherence to sunshine laws and efforts to enhance the laws with best practices is appreciated and noted. You have thoroughly researched and addressed 2020 census data and charter requirements for drawing districts with special attention to minority representation, which League heartily supports. Now, the legal deadline to approve the draft map is December 28, 2021. The Commission has intimated that unless there are objections to the draft map, they are ready to approve it. Now, we have reviewed the draft proposal and monitored public outreach to encourage engagement. We ask the Commission to consider the following points before approving the map. In the principles cited in the charter that guide map drawing, there are 3 broadly defined variances beyond the list of specific criteria. Because these variances can create map boundaries that seem questionable, we recommend a descriptive narrative for each district that can explain factors that influence the boundaries. For example, in this draft map, we understand that the small blue dot of District 8 that appears to be a gerrymander into District 7 actually is a part of Coventry Township and should be included in District 8. A brief explanation would eliminate any cause for question. Secondly, most recent media coverage of the Commission's release of the draft map, namely the October 12th and October 17th Akron Beacon Journal editions, has been very helpful. But we believe there remains a gap in public outreach with full and clear information on how to access the draft map and other Commission information. This includes links to the Commission website, current map and draft map, and feedback link for public input. Now, with regard to these points, and given that the deadline to approve the map is late December, we ask the following. Delay approval of the map for at least 2 more weeks, and provide weekly media releases in various publications that inform the public of the feedback link and provide direct links to the maps. Include the Commission website address. The overlay map that was first put out on October 12th in the Beacon, only in the online version, was very confusing. It was an overlay map of current and draft. We're saying, and the map that was in the October 17th edition was only in the online version of the Beacon. It was not in the hard copy. I'm a loyal follower of the Beacon, and believe me, I watched for it. So we're asking you to consider developing a new webpage link that shows a side-by-side display of the current map and the draft map. And consider narrative descriptors be added to each district that explains necessary variances. We thank you for your service in this important duty. Your time and effort and talent are very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simons. We appreciate your taking the time to address the commission this evening and your ongoing efforts. Angela Robinson.
Good evening. I'm going to drop my mask a little bit. Good evening, Commission members. My name is Angela Robinson. I reside in County Council District 4, which is Jeff Wilhite's district. First, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to provide public comment on the redistricting of Summit County. I would like to say that I am in full support of the proposed draft plan and would like for the Commission to move forward with approving the proposed draft. This proposed map not only gives more opportunity for a minority candidate to win in District 4 and 5, but it also allows for that district representative to advocate more accurately for the constituents in that area. What do I mean when I say that? I mean, if you live in Akron, and if the district is in Akron and Cargill Falls, there may be different issues that the residents living in those areas may have. By combining some of the areas like you all have proposed, I think it will give that district representative a better opportunity to advocate. For instance, if there's gun violence that needs to be addressed, then that district representative can focus more on that issue. If it's retail not coming in that area, then I think that district representative would be more willing to advocate. Different areas have different issues that they need to have addressed, and sometimes our council people are spread thin because they have such wide areas to cover. So I think that this commission has done a great job with combining areas that are closely related together, and I do urge that you move forward with this. I thank you because this is good representation, which is very important right now in the society that we live in. So I commend you for this because I believe that this commission is on the right track of providing good representation, which we need here in Summit County. So thank you, and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson, for attending this evening. Tim Pyatt.
Good evening. I'm not going to take too much time because everybody else has pretty much way more eloquently said the things I was going to say. So I'm just going to piggyback off all of them and just say they did a great job. Thank you. No. My name is Tim Pyatt. I'm a resident of Greene. I just want to say that anybody who's been paying attention would likely agree and be very dismayed, disappointed, and angry with what's going down at the state level in their redistricting commission. The majority of that commission is treating it pretty much like anybody, again, who's paying attention expected them to treat it. There's been no transparency. There's been really no public participation. It's essentially just been a big sham. And it's just essentially a way to guarantee that one group stays in power over another. As compared to what you guys are doing here in Summit County. I've lived in Summit County now for almost 16 years, and if there's one thing I've recognized, it's that sometimes we get overlooked, but Summit County does a great job of being a leader in this state. What you have done has been transparent. Public participation has been encouraged. You've taken lots of comments. I think that these district map that you've drawn up has been fair and reasonable. Now, you're always going to have some detractors, both legitimate and, I guess you could say, not legitimate. But that's going to be any process, and I think that you have listened to those, taken those into consideration, even the ones that you probably should have ignored. I recognize the city of Akron is not being kept whole, but that would be pretty much impossible just considering its size and its population. Now, I don't live in Akron. Like I said, I live in Greene, but unlike so many of the naysayers, I can actually see beyond my neighborhood and my community. And I can recognize that the city of Akron is the largest in the county and therefore deserves some assurance that it's going to have a member and possibly more members that are from Akron City proper. I'm also encouraged that the proposed maps will likely, dare I say hopefully, lead to more minority members of council, because again, I think we all win when everyone is truly represented and everybody gets to participate. You've worked hard on this. You've listened to the experts. You've listened to non-experts, of which I may be the non-expertiest, if that's a word that I could just make up now. You've taken this seriously. I ask that you trust your process, trust your instincts. I think these maps, while maybe not absolutely perfect, are at least reasonable and fair. So again, thank you for your leadership, and again, thank you for showing really why I think the rest of the state would be wise to see how we do things here in Summit County and follow in our footsteps. Thanks.
We appreciate your comments, Mr. Pye. The four folks that just spoke were the ones who signed up, but not to exclude anybody. Is there anybody else here this evening that would like to address the commission? Yes. Could you give us your name for the record, please?
I'm Dr. Roseanne Winter, and I'm the president of the League of Women Voters of the Akron area. And I, too, would like to thank you for adhering to the spirit and the letter of this redistricting. It's not an easy thing to do. It can be fun if it doesn't really matter, but this really does matter, and you have taken it in hand and done a great job. We do hope that you continue it for another 2 weeks just to give everyone an opportunity to take a look and have their say now rather than say later that you did not do so, because you deserve to have the applause that this map has given you. So thank you again, and we all appreciate your hard work.
Thank you for your comments, too. I see that someone just walked into the room. Would you be interested in addressing the commission this evening?
No, thank you.
Not to put you on the spot or anything, but I didn't want to ignore you. I'm not going to call on you, so just ask. All right, going once, going twice. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to talk to the commission about this evening? Okay, I'm going to ask Todd if he has any comments right now, and then ask the commission members if they have any comments or questions.
Chairman, I would just thank the members of the public for being engaged and listening and caring and responding, and also the members of the commission for their work and showing the courage, really, to anytime you draw lines on a map when it comes to political activity, it's a dangerous activity, and you rarely make everyone happy. And but if you follow the principles and the guidelines that were put in the charter, which I think you have, you come up with a product that people can live with and work with, and realize that it was done in a way that not only follows the letter of the charter, but the spirit of the charter and what happened in 2015 when the people of Summit County voted and said, we want this process to be different. We want it to be better. And I commend you all for your work in making this a better process and creating a better map.
Thank you, Todd. I'm going to turn it over to the members of the commission. The agenda tonight talked about a potential vote for approving the draft plan that was introduced a couple of weeks ago. I think now would be appropriate to see whether or not we are interested in actually taking a vote this evening. If there is a motion in a second, we can have some discussion about that, at which time I think the commission members can go ahead and express their views. So think what I, yes, sir.
If I may, before you do that, it would be appropriate for me to address a question to the people, some of the folks that had spoken.
Sure, of course.
To the ladies from the League of Women Voters. Appreciate very much you being here and your input. Are you taking exception with what we've done, or you're just asking for more time?
Just asking,
Either one, I don't care which, or both.
We're just asking for more time only because we think that the public didn't get all of the links that they needed to really look at it. And I think once they look at it, they're going to be very impressed. But I think that Dr. Winter made the point that you want no questions when this is done. So if you make that little bit of extra effort, and we realize that asking for a 2-week addition is somewhat arbitrary, but we thought it was a reasonable request, since you do not have to have this approved until the end of December.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the commission members? Thank you for that, Mr. Callahan. So since it's on the agenda, I'm going to bring it up. Are we prepared to take a vote on this evening? And if so, I would entertain a motion to approve the map.
Well, I guess I'll speak up. I'm prepared to go forward, notwithstanding the request of the League of Women Voters. I appreciate their concern. I will tell you that, and perhaps Mr. Smith will agree with me, that in all the years I spent on council, not near as many as you did, Cazell, but generally speaking, when people from the public came in here to speak, they came to complain about something. I bet I could count on one hand in the years I spent people that came in to say, other than if you're getting a proclamation, but come in to praise council for doing such a great job. And I would equate what I've seen here recently to that. We haven't seen people come in and complain. One or two. I don't even know if they had anybody actually come here and complain. We've had a couple of emails, suggestions, but it's been quite the contrary. We've had positive feedback. Personally, I've had positive feedback. I've seen folks here get positive feedback, and the commission as a whole. I don't know I personally am, I'm willing to come back if we need to come back. It's not a question of my time or trying to get out of here early. But I think we've heard positive feedback from all areas, or most areas. I think that we've done, I think the executive's office has done a good job trying to get the word out. I don't know. I just, part of me is if we don't clean this up, if we don't irritate somebody, we're not doing our job. But we're not going to make. Yeah, no, but I don't. But I'm prepared to move forward. That's all I can say, and I appreciate the concerns, but based upon the feedback we've gotten, I'm prepared to move forward.
Did you make a motion, Mr. Callahan, or Ms.
Well, if you, I guess I will. I'll make a motion that we adopt the draft plan.
I'll second it.
I will open it up to comments from the fellow commission members now.
Mr. Chair, I too am grateful for the public for coming in along the way for the past 5 weeks, I believe. You said we've met to provide suggestions, concerns, and opportunities for us to take a second look at, and we've done that along the way. So what you see today has been a culmination of many recommendations along this planning process. I agree with the last gentleman that spoke from Green, where he said this map is not perfect but reasonable and fair. For those reasons, I'm ready to move forward and adopt it. Because I think we've been considerate, we've been inclusive, we consider equity with this planning process. So I'm comfortable with where we are at this moment in time.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I appreciate what the League of Women Voters, information we got from the League of Women Voters, and I think we followed their guidelines and best practices. So I'm ready to move forward also.
Appreciate that. Ms. Buckholzer.
Yes, I seconded the motion, and I agree. I think this is really, it's the first time I've participated in this kind of event. I'm very proud to have been part of it, and I really appreciate those that have stood up today and thanked us for the work, and I think we need to thank Todd for his work. So I'm prepared to move forward. I seconded the motion. If there's some major reason, I'm prepared to do that too. But I'm comfortable voting on it today.
I appreciate that. I'd like to make some comments also before I call for a vote this evening, and I want to express first my appreciation to Todd, to Robert Dykes, and to Mark Salling for their efforts and their works here. I think that your presentations to us were thoughtful and thorough. I think that this draft plan took a lot of thought. It wasn't just drawing squiggly lines on a multicolored map. And I believe that it was as a direct result of some of the comments that we heard, both in person and through the email, that we were able to accomplish some of what this map hopefully does accomplish as well. I also want to thank my fellow commissioners because I know that they took their time out of their schedules, and I've known all of these folks except Ms. Carter, who I really haven't known for a long time, but I've known these folks for a long time, and they're dedicated public servants, all of them, and I appreciate their input and what we've done. As I look back on the process, there were a couple of things that we set out to do. We set out to follow the charter to make sure that the districts were equalized, they were compact, that they were contiguous. I think I know we've accomplished through this map, putting Bath Township back together, putting Cuyahoga Falls back together. There was some movement in some of the districts as a result of this population shift. But as everybody has said, I think that what this map has done is to be, as Ms. Carter just said, fair and reasonable. And I too have been very, very pleased with the comments that we've received from the public, from the League of Women Voters, and you don't often get really wonderful comments and editorials all the time. And I think it was very important that our local newspaper realized and recognized, as they said, we're pleased to report that this commission is sticking close to a legal framework and creating fair maps in a transparent way. And I think that's what all of us set out to do, and I think that we've accomplished that through our efforts and the efforts of the consultants that we've had guiding us through this process. So again, I express my appreciation to Todd and his team and to my fellow commissioners, and I too am ready to proceed tonight with a vote to do this. So with that, I'm going to take a roll. Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Ms. Buckholzer?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Carter?
Aye.
And I vote aye. So this draft plan has been adopted as the map of the Nonpartisan Independent Council Fair District and Commission. I think that it would be appropriate now to talk a little bit about what happens next. One thing that everybody should be aware of and that we're aware of is that this does not require any approval by county council. They have delegated this authority to the commission, and that was courageous to do, I believe. And so, we don't have to go to county council to get this approved, but I'm going to leave it to Todd to talk about the next steps.
Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, after you've adopted this draft plan, It's now the official plan for the county council districts for the next, until the next census. We do have to certify that to the Board of Elections here in Summit County, and I have a few documents that will need to be signed by the commissioners so that can be forwarded to the Board of Directors. In addition to the paper documents, we'll also be sending them, in our computer world with all these different information that will be forwarded to the Board of Elections as well, with the understanding that if they need more information, we'll be able to supply that as we go forward. But the map, as presented, with the precinct lines as presented, will be the official map going forward.
Very good. We appreciate that.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
When we talk about communicating the final to the public, could we take in consideration some of the league's thoughts about how to comprehensively make sure everything is cross-linked or crosswalked, particularly the current versus the new, so everyone fully understands there's a change?
Yeah.
Because there were some fine recommendations around communication, fully communicating the current versus the new. I just think that would be helpful.
Okay.
And I do think the point, I think regardless of how much time we took, there's always going to be some questions. And I think there should be a process, if there are some remaining questions, how that would be handled, Mr. Chairman. So I don't know how would we handle, if there are some questions that need to be cleared up, which were brought up, how would that process be handled? We're not going to change anything, but there could be some additional explanation. How would that be handled? I think there should be a process for that.
Well, those are great points. And I guess my initial reaction, and let me know what you think, is let's do another press release. And I think some of those suggestions about talking about why some of these districts changed and go into a little more detail as far as this goes might be helpful. So if we could ask you to assist us in doing another press release and drill down a little bit more on a couple of the details. I think most of us probably know, for instance, there was that little piece of Coventry Township, and that was brought up in a meeting, and I've been representing as a legal counsel Coventry Township for a long time, and I didn't even know that. I didn't know there was this little piece up there, and maybe there's a zoning violation up there I need to go find or something like that. But
Mr. Chairman, I think we're more than willing, because technically the job of the commission is over after we certify. You all are relieved of your obligations at that point. But I think the county, and I don't want to put the county executive, put words in their mouth or put an obligation on them, but I'm sure they have a website up with a portion of the website dedicated to this. The idea of putting together a narrative, explaining things, I think is something that had always been contemplated and something that we would do. Odds are it will probably not get picked up completely by the newspaper because that would be a lot of page. But that type of a narrative being placed on the executive's website under this subtopic could very much be done.
Great. Okay. So.
Well, and last but not least, Mr. Chairman, as I said the night we were sworn in front of County Council, if anybody had any questions, problems, or concerns, they can just call Herb Sugarman.
And I have your cell number, Mr. Callahan, who I can refer him to.
I would just like to make one more comment and thank our chairman, who's been very gracious to keep us all involved, talked to us on the phone, kept us up to date, and made us very comfortable. And thank you, Mr. Chair, you did a great job.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to serve with all of you on this. And we'll see how things go in 2024.
Yeah,
right.
We got 2 years to wait.
We got 2 years to see the fruits of our labor and see how it goes. So, and I appreciate that. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Ms. Carter made the motion. Ms. Buckholzer seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
I need you all to stay here. There's a sign.
And I think somebody mentioned that there should be a picture of the commission at some point.
Now with our masks on, please.
So,
We're not trying to hide our jobs.
we will take our mask off for a brief moment. So.
Okay. I just wanted to see that. Now, this is where you officially adopt, and I just need you to sign above your name there, and you can use your pen or whatever. And I'll have to make, you swear affirm this is done well, free and easy, hope you got it?
I do.
All right, thank you, sir.
I do.
Thanks for everything.
Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you.
But, yeah,